Hello, welcome to Kilted Swede. What's the hardest thing about moving to a different country? It's a question I'm often asked, and I usually answer everything you leave behind. You know, your family, your friends, and everything you once knew as your everyday life. That changes instantly, of course, but it's the adjustment to it which takes a long time. It gets easier, as with most things with time, but it never goes away. And I've actually found that the more time that goes by, the harder it gets in some ways. I've never been a particularly homesick person, but at the same time, I've never felt as homesick as I have since I moved over here. Naturally, as soon as I start recording, the wind picks up. So we'll see how good the sound turns out on this one. And keeping up with your family is one thing. Your family will always be your family, you know, blood's always blood and all that. But your friends can often be a different matter. I mean, your good friends, your real friends, your best friends and your close friends, that will always stay the same. They'll always be there for you and you'll always be there for them. But your acquaintances or people you maybe once considered friends and perhaps you thought you were closer than you actually are, or just, the distance drives a wedge between you. Something I've noticed is sometimes I'll send a message to someone if I'm heading over and that old scene at that time, but no reply. Some people just forget, and that's fine, but others it's been a consistent pattern, and that's a bit of a shame, but such is life. That can happen even if you don't move away. But I've noticed it's maybe a bit more common with people who do move away, like myself. I don't know. But the majority, it's fine. But it does drive a wedge. I mean, distance can make or break relationships and friendships. It's a good test of how strong a bond between people is and how close you are. It's a very good way to find out who your real friends are. But at the same time, it's very difficult because the hardest part of it is, when people die and you're not there. It's now been 10 years. So I've managed to get to know people here in Sweden who have died just in that short space of time. That's a cold hard reality or realization when that happens. It's hard enough it's always extra difficult when someone passes away, back home where you came from and you're not there. Especially if you can't get back for the funeral. That was especially challenging during the pandemic. Well, it just wasn't an option. But I did think it was a great thing with these live sends people did for funerals, and you could be there in a way, You could see everything, hear all the stories and the memories that are shared. It's better than nothing. It's being present in a way, instead of just nothing at all. Paying your respects, as it were. But yeah, I've had a lot of time for reflection over here, and it's something something I do in quiet moments. The clock just keeps on ticking forever, and it's most of the time it's just day to day. You don't think too much about it, but then occasionally it'll hit you and you'll realise how much time's gone by, or how certain ships have sailed, and well, without getting too philosophical about it, not easy. But ultimately, everything you leave behind is replaced with other stuff. Replaced's the wrong word, but you fill certain blanks or gaps or spaces with other things. You change one. It's an environment swap. It's difficult to put words on because it's not like a substitute. It's not like a change. You're not well, you are swapping, but it's just different. A lot of people have a hard time with that. I've spoken to a lot of people who have not managed to keep that up and given up before long, or after a few years they've just packed it in and said, no, I'm going back, I can't do this anymore. But if you do stick at it and get through all the hardships and such. Can be rewarding. Anyway, I don't regret it. I'm just saying it is tough. It's not easy, you know. But that's life. We all go through it. Anyway, that's enough from me. Bye for now.